Welcome to partialarc.com. Don't do that.
Hi humans! Before we kick off the episode, a few announcements. First, our newest podcast, Friday Night Quests, a weekly live play D&D podcast with celebrity guests and ridiculous adventures, premieres next month on June 5th. Check out partialarc.com for more details. Second, the Partial Arc crew is going to be at Origins Game Fair this year from June 3rd through the 7th, and we may or may not have some exclusive announcements for those attending. We look forward to seeing you there. And finally, if you enjoy the show and you'd like to help us escape this weather balloon and rejoin humanity, please consider hopping on iTunes and leaving us a review. Any 5-star rating and review really helps people find the show and allows us to continue doing what Todd and I love. With that said, let's start the show.
Do you want to hear a story?
I'm not letting go.
Are you ready for this?
Follow your heart.
I'm going in.
This is
Blockbuster Punch-Up. Welcome to Blockbuster Punch-Up. This is episode 19. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and I'm joined by my co-host and film enthusiast, Todd G. Levin, sir. How are you today, oh gentlemanly friend?
I am just fine and dandy. How are you there?
I am doing just fine. There's something wrong with your voice. It has changed abruptly.
I don't think so. This is my usual voice.
Is this... Hold on a second. There's something wrong with your face. Let me...
Oh.
There was another person's face on your face. It changed your voice?
That's so weird.
You know what? Sometimes we delve into this, but this one is just a little bit too far out there for my depth.
I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for your pesky podcast.
Hold on a second.
Ah, gosh.
Did you put another one on when I wasn't looking?
It hurts a lot when you do that.
When I rip these off?
Yes.
So this isn't paint, this is actually blood.
That is blood. That's correct.
How many of these do you have on your face at any given time?
Well, it's the blood of the next mask that I have on.
How are you today? I don't know.
Okay, hold on. Okay, wait. Just all one at one time.
Oh, Jay, that was really mean, man.
There are so many masks you're wearing at one time.
I'm a man of many faces.
Anyways, if we pull things back a little bit, guys.
Like my face.
Like your face. We brought it back. Anyways.
Brought it back from 2 seconds ago.
So typically how our episodes work, if you're just joining us for the first time, is we will spend the episode talking about a film that we have recently seen, usually a blockbuster, and we take some time going through it, pros, cons, and we punch it up. But today, everyone, we are celebrating 2015, and we're doing something a little bit different with our episode.
We wanted to do an episode highlighting and celebrating what, so far, if you start looking at the track record for this year, looks like one of the most fun years for blockbusters in a long, long time. Lots of franchises have a new film coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Which is usually the case for every single year.
Always.
But
till the end of time.
But these franchises this year look like just a whole lot of fun and some actually really good-looking movies.
Oh, yeah. And to celebrate this and to have a little bit of fun with the podcast, what we wanted to do is turn this into a game. So Todd and I have actually set this up to be like a draft pick. Now, I'm going to explain what a draft pick is because I had to look it up because me and sports are not super close, but as I understand
we're acquaintances. We pass each other in the hallways and give a nod.
I saw Any Given Sunday. I've seen films.
I saw Jerry Maguire once.
Right, that was a good one.
I think Rudy is a sports movie.
Rudy is a sports movie.
Yeah, maybe Murder Ball.
Yeah,
and Running Man.
Remember the Titans? It's a good one. So, how drafts I've been explained by a quick look up on Wikipedia is essentially you have players. In this case, our players are the films, the blockbusters of this year from May through December, and we will name them all for you so you can play along with us. And for this game, Todd and I will essentially be picking from this pool of players, quote-unquote, films, for our draft pick, much like a fantasy football league or a draft for your own sports team. Now, what this means is we're going to, at the top here, name all our films. Then Todd and I are going to flip a coin. The person who wins gets to go first, and we will each select 5 films for our draft pick for this year to be the best films. Now, when we say best films, our rules are this. What makes a film best in our categories, essentially, is it has to be a quality film. When we do blockbuster punch-ups, we're not talking about, man, I could have made a few more millions that weekend. It's not about box office. It's about quality.
It's not about Snidely Whiplash.
It's not about Snidely.
It's about quality.
So how the rating system is going to work, so we have to figure out who has won at the end of the year, and you can play along with your friends, or just yourself, who knows, or with us.
Yes, play with yourself, play with us.
Please, yeah. And getting back to our point system, so how the points work is you have a scoring. The scoring goes in this scale. You can either get a -1, which means you are down a point. Now, you can only get a -1 if we punch up the film and we didn't really like it. We really didn't like this film, and we punched it up, so it'll get a -1. The film will get a 0 if we punched it up, but we did like it. We enjoyed it. We thought it was an okay film.
Got some good things, but it just needed a little help.
A little bit of help here and there. It gets 1 point if we don't punch it up and we like it. Now, it gets 2 points if it makes it to our best of the summer. So like we did last year, we did a best of, we picked 6 films. If it makes it to the best of the summer, it will get 2 points. Now, a film can also get -2 points if we hate it so much we don't even do a punch-up of it, because just don't make that movie. Just don't make it.
There have been several of these movies, and there's just no way to really do a punch-up for it.
We're just like, just don't make it.
It's like, well, the answer is just don't do that. It's that old, doctor, it hurts when I do this. Well, son, don't do that.
So how it works is Todd will get 5 picks, I will get 5 picks. The sliding scale is -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. So we shall begin our draft pick. So first, Todd, please let us know who are the contenders, who are the players that we're going to be pooling from.
All right, so these are the movies that are coming out this year.
Just this year, from now to the end of 2015.
From now to the end of 2015, these are the films that are coming out.
And guaranteed, Todd is going to name some that you're like, what? That's coming out? I completely forgot about that film.
Right. Enjoy this list, because this is what I try to keep telling people how epic this year is. Okay. Starting off, and by the way, this is in order of release dates.
And these are, I think it's a total of 19.
It's 19 films.
These aren't 19 all of the films. These are just the blockbusters.
These are just the blockbusters that we've chosen, that are big movies for this year.
And for what, for our rating system here, and for what has put it into this category, a blockbuster, we're determining that our films are these they have to be big budget, usually fairly large cast, almost action-adventure or family-style films will make a blockbuster.
So again, release date order, some of which are week after week, one after another.
Back to back.
Here we go. Starting off with Mad Max Fury Road. Then going into Tomorrowland, Poltergeist, disaster movie San Andreas, Jurassic World, Pixar's latest Inside Out, the sequel to Ted 1, Ted 2, Terminator Genesis, Minions, Ant-Man, Pixels, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, Fantastic Four, The Man from U.N.C.L.E, Maze Runner 2, Pan, Spectre, Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2, and Star Wars 7. There's so many movies coming out.
So many
There
films.
might be a few in there that you're like, why did you put in Pan and San Andreas? I don't know if those are going to be... But, the thing is that these are big blockbuster films. Some of the bigger names may tank.
Yeah.
And some of these other ones may actually somehow be pretty damn good.
Exactly. And, of course, there's been some blockbusters that have already come out, but they're off the list, stricken from the list, because we have already seen them, so it's not fair, so they have not been included here. So, all right, so let's begin with the ceremonial draft pick coin. Todd is going to call it in the air, and I'm going to flip. And flipping,
and
Todd...
the ceremonial flip, tails.
Look at it, just spiraling there.
Spiraling there, just...
My God,
and
the beautiful and the grace of it.
See that little rust coloration on the side there?
I didn't notice that before.
It's fantastic. And the slight imperfections in the coin there, and raised a little bit. It's like a relief painting. I mean, the masters couldn't have done it any better.
Tails.
Oh!
Todd gets first pick.
Oh, this is so exciting.
Todd, what is going to be your first pick? Who is your QB? Who is your center? Who is other sports name titles of positions that I do not know?
Okay, now this is actually really, really difficult doing this draft, because there's a lot of movies here and a lot of quality stuff here, but unfortunately, I'm going to have to take one right out of the running here, and it's pretty much, I'm going to have to go with Inside Out.
Oh, man. That's a strong pick.
I'm gonna have to go with Pixar, because Pixar rarely lets me down. I think Inside Out is gonna be a fantastic film. If you don't know, the film is Pixar's latest about the different emotions inside of an 11-year-old's brain
Yeah.
who are at war while she is going through her changes of puberty and whatnot, and the emotions inside everyone's brains, her father, her mother, and all these other people, and how people communicate with one another, and how different emotions and whatnot sort of make up our personalities.
Oh yeah, it looks amazing,
And it looks, I personally think it's going to be like a teaching tool.
It is, yeah.
For parents and children and therapists. And I really think there's going to be something special about this film, and people are going to be talking about it for a long time.
And I mean, Pixar. I mean, when
Come on,
is it really
Pixar.
tough to? It's a solid, safe bet to go with Pixar.
You want Pixar to be your QB any day.
Yeah, you do. God, that was. I was really hoping you were going with the other. There's another. At least I think is a safe bet, but I was really hoping you would slip by an Inside Out, and I could grab that as my first. Damn
Okay,
it.
so I chose my first round draft pick is Pixar's Inside Out.
Yep.
Now I turn the mic over to Jay for Jay's number two draft pick. Is that how it is, or you do a number one? I don't watch sports either.
I do a number one draft
You
pick
do
as well
for you.
because you picked your one, and now I get to pick my one.
You won. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So my number one draft pick is all right. I too. I'm going to have to go for this
Inside
one.
Out.
I'm going to also pick Inside Out. No,
Jay, that's not how drafts
That's not
work.
how it works.
Okay.
So I too am going to have to go for one that I feel is a pretty hot pick that I thought you were going to be drawn to right out of the gate, but I can't let it sit out there for too long. But I think it is a tough pick, and I'll explain why. I'm going to pick for my number one is going to be Star Wars Episode 7.
Whoa, really?
Yes.
Wow, I'm impressed that you would
Because-
go out on a limb and say that movie's going to be an punchable.
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not.
I'm actually being very sincere.
I know, because here's the thing. Now, it might be like, of course, Star Wars Episode 7.
it, I'm being very sincere.
No, but I get what you're saying, because Star Wars 7 has so much riding on it. It's got
does.
so much behind it, and it's can easily fail, you
Right,
know, because
right.
it has so much of can it be this good, right? But
so far, man.
Here's the thing. So far it's
everything
been
has been
solid.
so good.
And here's the thing. It's following up episode 1, 2, and 3, which are just atrocious. So I feel like it's going to be okay, and everyone's going to be like, it wasn't episode 1, 2, and 3. It's fine. It's good enough. It's good enough. And look, J.J. Abrams knows how to do space shit. We've seen him do pretty good space shit. Now, second Star Trek isn't as good, in my opinion, as his first outing with Star Trek, but his first outing with Star Trek was great. And that's it. Looks like what they're doing with these films. He's launching the franchise, and then he's stepping away.
This is a bold choice, and I love it.
Yeah, so, I mean, I gotta say Star Wars Episode 7 is my first pick.
Excellent.
What is your number 2?
My number 2 pick for the second round of our Blockbuster Punch-Up Summer Movie Marathon Bash. I'm just going to make...
That's the name now?
As many names, as many words as I
Perfect.
can put in there. As
Perfect.
The
It'll
name
make
for
the title just ungodly long.
This is so hard. This is so
we're
hard.
only at 2. Imagine what happens when we get to 4 and 5.
All right. My second round pick is going to have to be one that I just have really high hopes for. I actually haven't seen a goddamn thing about it.
Okay.
Because I don't watch trailers, and you know this.
I know.
I just have a feeling about this movie. I want it to be good. It's just going to be Tomorrowland.
Oh, I think that's kind of a big risk.
It may be a big risk, but I just have a feeling.
Well, here's the thing. Brad Bird is solid.
Brad Bird is the reason why I'm making
brought
this
us
choice.
Incredibles and a great Mission Impossible movie. I'll give you some credit there. Also, I mean, George Clooney is solid. I think the lead actress of this film, I think she's fairly new.
I don't recognize her.
I don't recognize her, but she has a lot of agency. She has a lot of presence in the trailers.
And it's just an interesting story. I mean, I don't even know what the story is. It's an interesting concept.
I've seen the trailers, and the story's fairly vague.
Just a world that is this invisible world that's futuristic and everything. It's got the makings of all the things that I like in a film, and Tomorrowland is my number 2.
Tomorrowland is your number 2. All right. Okay.
All right.
I think I've got my number 2. I think this might surprise you. Maybe. I don't know.
I'm excited.
My number 2 pick is going to be The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Ooh.
Now,
You're stealing a late draft pick, a late round draft pick of mine.
I am, yeah.
I think The Man from U.N.C.L.E. is going to be amazing.
I think The Man from U.N.C.L.E. is going to be good. I saw the trailer, and those two are adorable together.
Right?
And Henry Cahill...
I've never really cared for him necessarily.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I have my grievances. We've expressed this about Man of Steel, but I think he's a great actor.
Right.
And I think, oh my God, the trailer, he was so lovable, so charming, and I think the film's going to have a lot of fun and wit. It's also 2 actors both doing accents that they're not native to.
That's true. And
which is interesting.
Most importantly, the secret ingredient of this whole idea of this movie is Guy Ritchie.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully Guy Ritchie can come back from Rock and Rolla, and I don't really like the Sherlock Holmes movies. Some people
they're
do.
Okay.
Hopefully he can come back. I think this might be his comeback.
Yeah, because he does have hit or miss, so I think it's a little risky, but I don't know. I'm feeling some kind of magic coming from Man from U.N.C.L.E.
I love this pick. This is a great pick.
Okay, so I've got my 2 are Star Wars Episode 7 and The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Okay.
So
wow.
Todd, what is your number 3 now that I've stolen some of your backups?
Okay, my number 3 is actually an easy one.
Okay.
This one is a film that that I've been looking forward to all year. It's actually, I would probably call it my most anticipated movie of the year. And what I mean by that is I have a most anticipated movie of the year until that movie is gone, and then I have another most anticipated movie of the year. And
this summer's a little tough to, this is my number 1. Well, this is my number 1.
This happens every time where late in the summer or year, someone's just like, wasn't like 3 movies ago your most anticipated? And I was like, yeah, but it sucked.
Yeah, but I've seen that one and it wasn't very good.
So my most anticipated, for now, movie of the year that I cannot wait to see is Mad Max Fury Road.
Ooh, Mad Max!
I'm putting Mad Max as my 3rd round draft pick.
Okay.
Because everything about this movie has been, so far, the greatest, most vibrant, most crazy. I'm a big fan of the franchise. Mm-hmm. They're really weird. I think this one could be the weirdest and best of all. You've got a great cast in Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron.
Oh, yeah.
You've got, just George Miller coming back for a 4th take.
And the visuals, my God, I want to just live in that environment.
I don't watch trailers, but I have not been able to stop watching any of the trailers for this movie because it's everything I kind of want in a movie. And really what it is it feels like George Miller looking at the current cinematic landscape and looking at everybody else and saying, oh, you guys like doing post-apocalyptic movies? That's cute. Here's this shit. I started it, and I'm going to end it. Here you go, Mad Max Fury Road.
That's a solid draft pick. That was on my list, so you have snagged it well, sir. 2 snags, very well done.
Okay, so that's my number 3. Jay, what is your number 3?
What is your list as of right now?
My list as of right now is number 1, Inside Out. Number 2, Tomorrowland.
Okay.
And number 3, Mad Max Fury Road.
Ooh, those are all good picks.
What about you?
Okay, I'm going to have to go out here and I'm going to have to follow up a spy film with another spy film. I'm going to have to say Spectre.
Ooh.
I'm going to have to say Spectre is my 3rd pick.
Jay, can you just... I hope you're right.
I hope I'm right, too. Again, risky.
I so hope
also
you're right.
Risky.
I want your draft picks to be the greatest movies of the summer.
I know. And it's not just for love of spy films, but look, we did a punch-up about Skyfall, but it wasn't a horrible film.
Right.
We wouldn't have said, like, it was bad.
It would have been, a 0?
It would have been like a 0.
A 0 point?
It would have been a 0 pointer.
A movie that was pretty good, but, needed a little help.
Needed a little help.
Yeah.
Spectre, look, Christoph Waltz.
Oh, yeah.
And, it's the director's second go at the series. Maybe him finishing some of the through lines that he set up in Skyfall and maybe giving us some really nice payoffs. And it looks like really starting to dig into that, what we wanted, and we talked about this in our Skyfall, a little bit of James Bond's personal past.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks like even in the trailer, we're digging into, it's like an old picture of his family, maybe.
There's literally a line that says, you've got a secret in your past or something.
Exactly. We're digging more into it. I really love that, and I really want to see that in Spectre. And I mean, again, I got Christoph Waltz. It just...
And, I mean, let's pay homage to the greatest film franchise in cinema history.
It's going to be... I really think it's going to be a solid film. And also, Spectre is back. For a while, there was legality issues. Quantum of Solace, if nobody knew this, Quantum of Solace was their replacement for Spectre because they couldn't do Spectre for legal reasons. Yeah.
I did not know that.
They couldn't do it. And now they got the rights back, so they're like, whoa. It's kind of like if you did a Batman film and you couldn't do Joker, and you were like, oh, and then they got the legal rights back and like, oh, we're gonna do Joker, and we're gonna put the best actor we can put in as Joker, hence Christoph Waltz as what we all know is Blofeld. I think it's gonna be solid. So Spectre is my 3rd round draft pick. So I've got Star Wars Episode 7, The Man from U.N.C.L.E, and Spectre. All right, Todd, what is your 4th draft pick?
All right, here's where it gets really difficult.
This is where it starts to get dicey.
This is where it gets really, really difficult, and I actually do not know what my 4th round draft pick is at this point. I have no clue.
Oh, fuck. Did we not include Magic Mike 2? Should that have been on here? That's not a blockbuster.
This is really... Okay. All right. I got one. Okay. This one surprises me, actually.
Okay.
But I feel something for it, and I have a feeling about it. They've done it a time or two before. It hasn't worked. Maybe this time they'll get around to it.
Son of a bitch.
My 4th round draft pick is Fantastic Four.
Damn it! No, that was going to be my number 4.
The 4 for number 4 is Fantastic Four.
You son of a bitch.
And I don't know what it is about this trailer. I honestly did not have any interest in seeing this movie, and then seeing the trailer got me so excited, and surprisingly so. And to me, that tells you a lot.
Yeah.
If I had no interest, and then you sold me with a trailer, and you know what it really is? It does look very good. Like the look of the film, the cinematography, the story looks interesting. It seems like a revamp of the story that I haven't seen before. Of course, I'm not a comic book person, but either way. But what it really is this cast.
Miles Teller, Michael B. Jordan.
Kate Mara, is that her name? Kate Mara?
I think it's the sister of Rooney Mara.
But this whole where are my kids?
It feels like it has a lot of stuff in there.
It feels like it's got a lot of
the trailer wasn't like them blowing up shit. Like, sure, there's some stuff that explodes and a guy lights on fire, but it wasn't your straight up blockbustery trailer. It looked like it had more to it.
It actually focused more on character
and like the family and all that stuff
than it did on
and the other thing is this has a little bit of the backing like Star Wars does, where it had some pretty bad films behind it. So I feel like we're ready to forgive and embrace a new Fantastic Four.
That's right.
And god damn, that was a good pick. I was really hoping you weren't going to grab Fantastic Four. Jeez. Okay.
I have no idea what I'm going to do for my next one.
I have an idea. I have some that are like, why not this? But then like I have like in the back of my mind being like, no, Jay, that'll probably be bad.
I have the exact same thing where I want something honestly, there's a part of me that wants to put Maze Runner 2 on there,
yeah, I know,
but it's going to be shit.
Here's the thing, I've also not seen Maze Runner 1, so I still can't.
It could be good. I have no idea.
It could be good.
I'm just glad that you didn't grab Mad Max. That's my movie, man.
Okay,
that's my movie this year.
I'm gonna put this out here. I have a slight worry about Mad Max. Here's the only thing. I have no reason to, but I've been fooled by Inception. I was fooled by Prometheus. These films that visually,
good point,
were so beautiful and looked fantastic that they could not fail. And Mad Max, for sure, has delivered in visual, beautiful spectacle. But what trailers have told me, where trailers rely solely on visual spectacle, 300, Inception, Prometheus, films like that have just been pure visual spectacle, have had no soul when I've gotten to the film.
They have no substance.
And there's no substance in between the visual spectacle, and a visual spectacle a good film doth not make.
You're making me very scared.
Making you feel a little bit nervous, so I'm sorry. I was actually hoping you would bait with the Mad Max and pull it because it's getting so much good press, but I do have a slight worry about Mad Max. Only because it is a director returning from a while, and I would love it if he knocks it out of the park. I would love it if you could get a solid 2.
It's a director returning for a while that is making the best looking movies ever made.
I'm right on board.
It's about the script, though.
But Ridley Scott did the same thing, Todd, with Aliens. I'm sorry to put that out there, but Ridley Scott did exactly the same thing with his own franchise, and I know that sounds messed up.
You've got a solid point. I just hate it.
And for anyone listening who has already marked Mad Max down on their list, the rules are you can't go back. So you're in. You're locked in.
No, you make some very good points.
But also I could be very wrong. And honestly, Todd,
I just hope that you're
Todd,
wrong.
I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But it was enough of a worry that I steer clear of Mad Max.
You know what gives me a little bit of confidence as just to push back?
Okay.
Is I don't think that certain actors take like scripts and, certain actors. Charlize Theron was in Prometheus, fuck you.
Also, that was going to be my first right out the gate, Todd. Charlize Theron was also in Prometheus.
Fuck you.
And Michael Fassbender and Idris Elba, Todd.
But it's Ridley Scott.
Yep.
They couldn't help themselves.
Here you go, Todd.
No! Mad Max Fury Road is going to be the best movie.
It's going to be the best. We all hope so. All right, so my 4th draft pick.
This glib motherfucker over here.
You know what? I'm going to go with for my 4th draft pick is Ant-Man.
Ooh!
Ant-Man is going to be a 4th round draft pick. Now,
I was thinking of leveraging my bets and doing 4 and 5 being both Marvel films.
Fantastic Four isn't a Marvel film.
Oh, okay. Well,
but
either way.
Superhero films.
Both superhero films.
But Ant-Man, okay.
I love this pick.
Okay,
I love this pick.
1, Marvel bats 1,000, so I don't think it's going to be a negative.
2, Paul Rudd.
2, Paul Rudd. Also, I think Michael Douglas has been pretty charming in a lot of these trailers.
Yeah.
And also, here's the thing. It's a different Marvel film. I'm not going to be watching, like, great power, great responsibility, and you can go, save the city from... It's going to be a heist film. It's going to be like Ocean's 11, but with ants, with Paul Rudd, with comedy.
With a world of insects.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be interesting. It's kind of like how Pixar, like, chooses a world and does, like, a world.
Dives into it fully.
This is Marvel doing a superhero movie inside of a world that we've never really seen before, the microscopic world.
Right. Now, if this was still Edgar Wright helming this film, Ant-Man would have been my number one pick. Hands down would have been my most anticipated film.
Here's the thing, though. He did work on it for a long time. I'm
Right.
sure his fingerprints are still on it.
Oh, I'm sure they are too. It's just, I'm a little hesitant.
Me too.
I like what I've seen in some of the trailers. Not all of them, but
I almost chose it for my number 4 as well, my friend.
I like what I'm seeing with Ant-Man, and because it's so different, I think Marvel can really let themselves loose in a different way.
Listen, they proved their might with Guardians of the Galaxy.
They can do a different film.
They proved their might with an untested material. I think that they wouldn't have pushed Ant-Man up ahead in the released schedule.
And here's the
if
thing.
it wasn't a good script or an interesting movie or a good comedy or a good complement to the rest of their, big franchise
Here's the other
movies.
thing, too. Ant-Man, they got talked into doing it by Edgar Wright. They weren't even going to do Ant-Man. But
Really?
Edgar Wright was like, you should do it for these reasons. And it's different, and it's just interesting enough to totally work. And he talked them, and he talked in Kevin Feige, he talked Disney into doing a multi-million-dollar superhero film that wasn't part of their original plan.
And then they kicked him off of
And
it.
we don't know if they kicked him off or he
Creative
left.
differences.
Creative differences.
You can't
means
fire me, I
whatever.
quit.
Yeah. But for whatever reason, it was good enough to get Ant-Man in there. And I like the idea of a superhero heist film, and I like Paul Rudd enough, and I can see that you're a little distressed about losing Ant-Man.
I was maybe going to pick it.
You're going to maybe pick it for the 5th. So, guys, my 4th pick is Ant-Man. So my list right now is Star Wars Episode 7, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., Spectre, and Ant-Man. So, Todd, what is your 5th draft pick?
Ooh, my 5th and last, I don't have yet. I don't know. There's a lot of movies here. Okay, you know what? I'm going to do here?
All right.
I'm going to tell you the 3 movies that I'm trying to choose between because it doesn't matter.
I can't take them anyway.
Right.
You get the pick.
It doesn't matter at this point.
I'm excited to hear what these are.
And I kind of want to talk through them, even though, at this point, I really don't think it matters.
Okay, yeah.
My 3 remaining films for my 5th round draft pick that have made this strange shortlist that I have created are Jurassic World,
Okay.
Terminator Genesis,
All right.
which I think is going to be terrible, but I like the franchise and I liked the trailer and I want it to be good.
Yeah.
And San Andreas.
Okay.
I don't know why it's on there. I just think it's, you know what? You know why? That movie is probably perhaps of all these
Dwayne Johnson is I mean, he's
it's
super
got
charismatic.
Paul Giamatti and Dwayne The Rock
Paul
Johnson
Giamatti's
in
in
it.
there?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to knock off Terminator. And it's still, for some reason, San Andreas is still in there. There's a part of me that kind of wants to go for San Andreas just to, prove a point that, Dwayne The Rock Johnson
Disaster films
is
can do
a good action star. Mm-hmm. He can lead a movie. And, and then there's this other part of me that's like, oh, Colin Trevorrow, maybe he'll do a great job with Jurassic World.
True.
All right, fine. You know what? I'm going to go with my childhood on this one.
Do it. Trust in childhood.
My 5th round draft pick for the mega movie summer blockbusters smash punch up mega
Keep going.
box office
Longest title ever.
smashy poos
Draft
pick spectacular 2015 is Jurassic World.
Oh, wow. You know what? I think that's a solid pick.
I think I'm going to go with Jurassic World for a few reasons. 1, Chris Pratt's on a roll. 2, there's a lot of other cool people in the movie. I haven't seen the trailer, so I don't know who they are, but I know that they're there. I think Bryce Dallas Howard is in it, and I like Bryce Dallas Howard, even though her career has been a little
rocky.
I'm doing the hand back and forth wavy thing.
Yep.
But I really do like her as an actress, and I think she could rock a movie like this. But most importantly, besides dinosaurs, is Colin Trevorrow. I think did a wonderful job with Safety Not Guaranteed, and I have a lot of faith in that guy. I like the concept. I want to support the concept of the studios picking up indie directors and dropping them in the middle of giant franchise films because they just don't know what the hell else to do. I just like this idea. I like the idea of the sequel to the original Jurassic Park, where they fix all the problems and they basically open up the park, but then, a lot of people die anyway.
Okay, so your final draft pick is Jurassic
World.
Okay, I'm going to run you through what I have left over. I have 4 that I've been dancing between. I've got Terminator Genesis, because the last Terminator film was not so good. I think it's also riding on that wave of like, ooh, and it also is like you've seen like what it's kind of about, right? Like it's like a revamping of it.
Yeah, and it's like an alternate universe vamping.
Alternate universe. They did this with Star Trek, which was awesome.
It's a successful model, man.
Yeah, and I think it's a pretty interesting thing, and I like seeing Arnold actually back in the film.
Arnold is in it.
That said...
Also, Khaleesi is in it.
There's some stuff in Terminator that I think are interesting, but I do think it's risky. My other pick is, weirdly, Poltergeist. Now, I throw Poltergeist out there because it's a horror film in a sea of blockbusters.
It's almost not even fair
to kind of throw Poltergeist in there?
Well, because the first one's so good that if they just do it again, it's going to be a good movie.
Whoa. Here's the other thing. My worry with Poltergeist is if they do it again, it's going to feel too close. Like, it's not a good film if you're just copy-pasting it. If you're just copy-pasting the first film with different effects, like, it's going to be weaker. They're going to have to change a few things. I feel like it's not going to be as strong. It's got to be adding something new if it's a remake,
You picking that means I have to see it.
My third is Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2.
There it is. I was wondering if someone's going to pull up the Hunger Games.
Look, Part 1 was good, and where they left it off with Part 1 going to Part 2 was really interesting, and I liked it a lot.
Right.
And I mean, I think they're going to finish strong. My only worry is a lot of Part 2s in films have not been too good lately. Deathly Hallows Part 2 I thought was kind of empty. It wasn't a very strong finish for that series. So I'm not exactly putting all my bets on it. Todd.
Yeah.
I have decided I'm not even going to try to gauge your reaction. So it's none of these. My last pick is not...
What the hell? You just...
I was talking myself through it and I haven't figured it out. So my fifth one, and I hope it's good, is actually Pan.
I knew you were going to pick Pan.
Pan?
Because you fought to have it on the list.
I fought to have it on the list. But I didn't even know I wanted it.
Tell me a little bit about this movie, because I actually don't know anything about it.
Okay, so Pan is essentially
Besides being Peter Pan.
Peter Pan. It's about Peter Pan, but it's like a reboot in its own way, but it's like a prequel. It's like Batman Begins for Pan.
You're watching Pan become Pan?
Become Pan,
Got
yeah.
it.
And this one looks fantastic and wonderful, but the thing that really sold me is Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman's in it?
Hugh Jackman plays Blackbeard.
Oh, shut up. I didn't know Hugh Jackman. I would have chosen anything with Hugh Jackman in it.
Hugh Jackman plays Blackbeard. This is like one of the first times I can remember Hugh Jackman playing a villain. He's playing a villain. And in the trailer, he looks like he's really getting into it, really having a great time. Like, he's wearing a ridiculous, almost like, take the Rufio outfit from Hook and just dial it up. It's just zany.
Is he going to Dustin Hoffman this villain?
Possibly.
Just be an incredible villain that just, completely transforms.
And here's the thing. What's also interesting about this story, too, is we have a young Hook in this film.
Ooh.
But it looks like he befriends Pan when he first meets him, which I like a lot.
Hey.
I like the idea of Peter Pan and Hook being friends when they first meet, and then something's going to rip them apart.
I feel like you sharked me on this one.
I kind of sharked you on Pan. And, honestly, there's one moment in the trailer, and if anyone wants to check it out after this or have seen it already...
This is why I should watch trailers.
Yeah, really. There's a moment where Hugh Jackman has a scene with Peter Pan in his, in his ship, and, he has a line. He looks like he's very pale. He looks very sad and distraught, and he says, have you come to kill me, Peter? And he says it so tenderly and so, fragile, even though in most of this trailer we've seen him be very strong.
They must be friends, and then he does something wrong, and then Peter Pan comes, yeah.
But it feels so sad and heartbreaking, this scene, and Hugh Jackman looks like he's killing it in the acting for this scene. And of course, this could all be terrible. This film could easily go completely wrong, but from that moment and my love of Peter Pan, I've got to close this out with Pan. So recap of all of our picks are: Todd's got Inside Out, Tomorrowland, Mad Max Fury Road, Fantastic Four, and Jurassic World. I've got Star Wars Episode 7, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., Spectre, Ant-Man, and Pan. All right, so those were our picks, and one more thing I'd like to throw in here.
Oh, are we sweetening the deal?
Sweeten the deal. Now, I gave you the point system before, -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2, but to make it a little bit more interesting and see if we can get some interesting action going on, for Todd, for your first pick and last pick, for 1 and 5, and for everybody out there,
what?
If Your first pick is strong, like if it's a 1 or a 2, you add a 1 to it.
Ooh.
So if it ends up being a 1, it becomes a 2. If it's a 2, it becomes a 3. Now, the flip side for this is, if it's a -1, it becomes a -2, and if it's a -2, it becomes a -3.
You're
If it's a
ruining my
0,
life.
if it's a 0, it stays the same.
This is like the wild card.
This is good because our first pick we're feeling really strong about, so we should have a benefit to it, but also it would be really funny if we were just completely wrong about our top first picks. And in the reverse, our fifth pick. This is our, it's a gamble, it's a little bit of a wild card, and to make it a little bit more wild, I'm going to apply the same thing to it. So if it's a 1 or a 2, it bumps up to a 2 and then a 3.
Interesting.
But if it's a -1 and a -2, it becomes a -2 or a -3. So these could really swing all over the place based on how our 1 and 5 do. All right, so that concludes our draft picks, and that'll take us right into the Smash-Up.
Smash, 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 smash,
Smash, smash, smash, All right, this is Blockbuster Smash-Up. This is where Todd and I will take 2 separate films and smash them together and try to make a cohesive plot story out of it. Now, for our special draft pick extravaganza, it had many other words part of that title. I don't remember all of them. For this special episode, we're actually going to pick from the list of the 19 films that we made of 2 films that we want to smash together. Now, we're not going to pick any of the ones that we already did, or of our top picks of our 1 through 5s.
We're picking the bottom of the barrel here.
We're picking what we guess will be bottom of the barrel. So each of us have prepared a specific film here of this list, and on the count of 3, we will smash them together, hopefully making a coherent tale for you.
Oh, no.
All right, on the count of 3.
All right.
1, 2, 3. Mission
San Andreas.
Impossible Rogue Nation.
Oof. Okay, I picked San Andreas, and
I
you picked
Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. What is a San Andreas Mission Impossible film? So clearly,
I think Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson plays Ethan Hunt.
So Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson or Dwayne the Hunt has come across a plan in a secret tube that was left for him in a helicopter. Sorry, a helicopter came down.
Oh,
and
came down from the heavens.
It just came down. Nobody was in it. It said like Dwayne Hunt. This is your mission. If you choose to accept
you choose to accept it. Okay.
And it's that the California coastline is going to explode and separate to create a rogue nation.
This state will self-destruct in 72 hours.
And the helicopter explodes, by the way, and kills like a few pedestrians or like people around. And
well, he might need that helicopter there.
No, it explodes. They blow up every time it delivers a message. You can't leave those things around for some reason.
Okay, so California will become a rogue nation.
It will become a rogue nation
if Dwayne "The Rock" Ethan Hunt Johnson does not
stop it.
Stop it in time.
So he must rally his troops. So we've got Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg.
We've got Paul Giamatti.
We got Paul Giamatti.
Who is the fighter? He's like, he's replacing Jeremy Renner.
Right.
He is the hand-to-hand combat expert.
Of course, we have Kylie Minogue. Who's going to be in San Andreas.
So he's decided to rally all of the architects and the construction workers all along the California coastline
and build a wall.
To keep California attached to neighboring states. And the real twist at the end here is the villain knows that Dwayne the Rock Hunt Johnson is going across the California coastline, dumping concrete to reinforce this pavement one last time, because the villain has blown up one part of it. It knew this plan was coming and is gone up there with its own like helicopter and has gone to take down Dwayne and shoots him. And we're like, oh my god, Dwayne the Rock Hunt Johnson is dead. And in the final moments, the Rock peels back his face. And it is Paul Giamatti, and he has died for San Andreas, and that's what and what is this film called?
I think it's called Mission Impossible San Andreas Nation.
San Andreas Nation. All right, guys. So that concludes episode 19 of Blockbuster Punch-Up and our draft picks of 2015's blockbusters. Now, before we leave you, one last note, and you guys might be wondering, I mentioned this earlier that we wouldn't be using films that have already passed, and at this time, a specific film has passed. That film is Avengers 2: Age of Ultron. Now, we have left it out of our draft picks, but you will be hearing about it soon, as our next episode will be a punch-up for Avengers 2: Age of Ultron. So, As always, we'll be posting a new episode every other week. If you'd like to download more episodes or check out other similar podcasts, head over to partialarc.com. That's arc with a C. Of course, you can email us any questions at blockbusterpunchup@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter and Instagram at partialarc. And you can follow Todd on Twitter and Instagram at TG11. Thanks for listening, and see you on the next episode of Blockbuster Punch-Up!
Let's go home.